Hello, lovelies. Welcome to the Garden of Guidance. If you haven't been before, I'm Katya, and if you have, welcome back. We're going to have a timeless, intuitive message for the collective today, and I'm curious to see what comes through. I'm always delighted to find out myself what's out there for us. So let's dive right in. I am going to light this lovely beeswax candle. It smells amazing, just to help us make the space a little more sacred, and ring a little bell so we may begin. So take a little breath with me. Okay. So, the topic today is sweetness, which is not entirely shocking because I am drinking very delicious spicy Mayan cacao from Guatemala that my dear friends brought for me, and it's so tasty. So I'm not surprised that the magic of it has permeated the message for the day, or rather, or vice versa. Who knows where it began, right? So I'm going to use a new pendulum today that is very tiny. I'm actually working on a travel size collection of ritual tools to be announced soon, and this is just a prototype of a tiny pendulum to go that I actually made for myself years ago now. But it's new in the sense that I haven't used it in any kind of reading before that was for the collective or was online. So it's a debut. It's my private tiny pendulum for travel. Okay, so yeah, so sweetness and creativity and travel. Those are the juicy subjects of today and how they work together. Okay, so let's start with sweetness. Sweetness is, of course, something most of us enjoy, and of course we're not talking about a matter of taste, you have a palate, right? You don't have to have a sweet tooth to appreciate sweetness in your life. Sweetness is that sense of things delighting you and the playful when your inner child is taken in whatever takes in your inner child in a playful, gentle, lovely way. That sweetness. It doesn't really have edges to it. It doesn't have a deeper meaning necessarily, or like it doesn't have consequences. It's just a moment of delight. And moments of delight are very important. They're actually often overlooked as on the spiritual path as something that is not serious enough, or not deep enough, or not meaningful enough. But the reality is that if you spend your life mostly in moments of delight, you will have done very well. Your soul will be pleased. So I myself love moments of delights, and I try to sprinkle them through my life as much as possible, and I am encouraging you to do the same. So of course we'll get into more practical steps of how you could do that in your daily life or in your adventures and things like that, but we'll begin with more philosophical approach. So what is the point of really having many moments of sweetness in your life that you can cultivate yourself or attract? And of course the main point of it is to feel present with your life, to bask in this infinity of the present moment. And that happens really the best through play, and through sweet play, the play that brings a joy to your inner child, to your soul. And in that space, not only you're not really thinking about your life or your problems, but you're also receiving a burst of energy, right? You're receiving something that's going to carry you through next moments that might not be as delightful. So for example, just as a metaphor, my delicious, delightful, spicy cacao has a lingering effect, right? It brings up my spirits even when I'm not drinking it. Afterwards it has this lingering of burst of energy and sweetness, and just feeling like I have given myself a little treat, and that carries me through my tasks, things that I need to accomplish that might not be directly sweet. That might lead to some sweet results down the path. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But it helps me kind of get into the other things that need to also happen for my life to flow smoothly. So I'm kind of getting, try to find where in your life maybe these moments of delight could be very easily accomplished and could really be gracefully introduced into the flow of your day and of your week, of your month. And it might be something that you really enjoy doing, that's small, but you kind of put in the back burner because you feel like it's not serious enough, not like it feels frivolous. For example, I put this spicy wine cacao into a really cute cup, and it's not a practical action. Of course, it needs to be in a container of some sort in order for me to have it, but the choice of container doesn't hold any practicality or utility. All it does, it delights me. And that in itself is extremely useful. So trying to judge your desires for delight and how they manifest, how they occur in your life. Perhaps it's taking your aspects of your daily routine and sprucing them up, finding a way to make them more beautiful, more lovely feeling. Perhaps it's giving yourself a few more minutes in the morning to delight in something before you begin your day that might contain some stress and things like that. I've talked before about the importance of morning ritual. That doesn't have to be in the morning, and it doesn't have to be a ritual. It just has to be a way to mark your day as yours, as special to you. So this goes a little farther. It kind of goes into any moment, any nook in your life where a little delight can be hiding. So it could be making sure that instead of reading a book that you find tedious, you switch to something that delights your soul. Perhaps you let go of the few clothing items that make you feel drab and unexcited to wear them. Perhaps you will finally clear out this little corner that you have in your space that you deep inside know could be something really sweet. Maybe you'll put an altar there. Maybe you'll put a plant, which is also an altar of sorts. Maybe you will get this one perfect little item that will really help your workday feel more exciting. Something for your desk, or something for your general space that your eyes can rest on when you're not on your computer, for example, when you're not writing down lists or talking on the phone or doing whatever activities that you might have to do in order to move forward your projects that might not feel directly delightful. Of course, we can delight in anything, but it's much easier to delight in something lovely. So that's the assignment. That's the mystical assignment. It will be checked very sternly. So try to play with that. And then the next thing I heard was creativity and travel. So this is a bit of a trickle down, like this waterfall of ideas, kind of falling down and then trickling down and falling into the next one. So delight will actually help you get really more creative in your life. So trying to find those moments of sweetness and altering things in your life to meet this criteria of being delightful, of sweet, of bring a little dash of excitement into your life. It's a creative process, but it's a creative process that isn't very result oriented. Nothing really hinges on this. It's not going to prove you to be or not be a great creator in your field. It's very simple things, and it's just for you, but that actually unlocks greater creativity. That type of energy, that type of playful exploration really helps tap into things that matter to you more. Not that delight and sweetness doesn't matter to you, but things that maybe feel a little heavier in your life that you would like to see blossom, but they just feel like there's more resistance or stagnation or more barriers to it. And these indulgences, I use that word loosely because sometimes it has negative connotations, but in this case, it's taking a moment to indulge your spirit, indulge your love for life, and that is really one of the best things you can do. So yeah, so that will really help you unlock more creativity, especially in areas where it feels a little bit stuck, or maybe it's blocked by logistical issues, real or perceived. It's blocked by financial obstacles, real or perceived, etc. And it will kind of help you see things from a new perspective and in a more playful way. You know, maybe like, oh, well, what if I have to do some taxes or accounting, but what if I find a way to make this process slightly more delightful, and it might open up a door for you to not resisting it as much, and maybe you'll even get more creative, even with things that feel as mundane as that, where you suddenly realize that you can outsource part of it, and then as a part of it can be quickly done, or perhaps you start understanding how you can move things around in a new way, and it'll give you a vision of like kind of new way of creating things maybe for the next round. And yeah, so delight breeds further delight. That's really is the secret here. Okay, and then the travel is coming in next, which is intriguing. I'm actually considering some travel myself, so that is pleasant travel. Let's talk about pleasant travel. Pleasant travel, travel for pleasure, is the greater expansion on this topic of delight and sweetness, right? It's something new you do for yourself that makes you feel new things, all right? And that is ultimately often very delightful and has sweetness to it, because you're entertaining your inner child. You know, you're asking yourself, well, what kind of fun thing would I like to do? And a lot of times leaving also for some responsibilities means that you can mostly leave them behind. You just at least don't see them or don't hear them from them, and they're not in your field of vision. And it's just this on the go, playful. Oh, interesting. So right, I'm actually working on travel tools, and that's part of the magic. So part of the magic of travel is it's a space where you can introduce something new into your life that you might keep afterwards as well. So it's a very creative process. Travel can be a very creative process, and in that space you can set up a new beautiful habit, or you can find your new favorite food. You might find a new favorite activity. You might really fall in love with something in like a store far away that you can bring back into your life. Will change your space, and you might meet people who are incredible, or just like really stoke your curiosity and they're different from you, and that will also give you a sense of expansion and creativity in your life, right? Something new is happening. So all of these things really can be part of travel for pleasure, and I'm kind of sensing explore those, especially if you have some travel coming up, or if you're considering some travel, or maybe you should do a little bit of travel. Now, sometimes when I think of travel, we get overwhelmed, because I had a conversation with someone dear to me, and they suggested randomly traveling to a very far away place that would really require a multi-week adventure to really do justice. And it isn't even a place I've really considered going to or been really curious about. So it was surprising to me. And then I realized what's happening is that this desire for greater experience and exploration actually is being blocked by overdoing it in your mind, right? So the suggestion wasn't actually real. It was just the idea of travel being taken so far that it wouldn't be possible. So that way it doesn't have to happen. So be wary of that. Don't get this seed, this little sparkle of potential travel desires, and then dampen it, smash it down with a really elaborate plan that's long, that you don't have finances for, you don't have time for, you don't have the stamina for, you don't have the understanding of the culture for, to really enjoy it immediately. Travel can be small, can be something quaint, can be short, can be delightful in a way that isn't dramatic. It doesn't look great online or anything like that. It could be going to visit a dear friend for just a few days somewhere that you've been to before, but just the format of that will still take you out of your daily routine and take you away from your responsibilities and give you a sense of fresh perspective and give you a sense of sweetness. You'll still be in a new environment, and you'll still be doing something that you usually don't get to do. So if you feel this call to travel, then it's okay if it's not impressive to anyone else. It just needs to be something that you feel is amazing to you, and it will have the gifts you need within it. It will deliver what you're seeking and much more, as long as you don't judge it, as long as you don't judge it against someone's online um, showcase of dramatic excursions into exotic locales that they might or might not have enjoyed. Who knows? You know, it needs to be something that works for you. It needs to be something that matches the call of your soul. And in that sense, it will be everything you need it to be. It'll be delightful and sweet and creativity boosting. So there you go. It can be even a day adventure, a day trip, or like a tiny getaway to a new hike, or with a new person, or to even a place that's beloved but maybe hasn't been visited for a while, and just see what's there for you. And that is actually would be the greater like as we're talking about delight and sweetness, you know, there's just a greater experience of that. But it doesn't have to be grand experience of that. It just can be a small moment within your day, like having a lovely cup of spicy cacao. It can be a day trip, or like a few days away with a dear friend, exploring places new and old. Or of course it can be something dramatic and exciting and a higher level, but it just doesn't have to be to give you those gifts, to bring the sweetness into your life. So lots of love, and until we meet again.